Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. The S&P 500 have failed to move back above the 4,600 level, and now it is approaching a critical level that could send the S&P 500 into a major correction. In this S&P 500 analysis, we'll analyze the price action of the indexes along with the market sentiment, the market internals, and see what they are telling us. Stay tuned. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 weekly chart here and just kind of get a big picture type of a look at the index. As you can see, the index had a range of 162 point or so for the week, and it lost a little bit less than 70 point or 1.58%. And you can see that it is doing a one-time weekly, one-time framing down. And it closed below the 10-week and also the 40-week moving average. And also the 10-week is rolling over right now. And the price is below this multi-year price channel. Now let's take a look at the sentiment chart here. Looking at this VIX, you can see the VIX is back in the 27 level, pretty close to the 30 level. Remember, we're talking about this zone between 20 and 30. And that's where the market participants are getting fearful. And here near this January low, we saw it actually went above the 30 level. Also, the other thing is the put-call ratio. Today, the put-call ratio actually closed above 1. So that means there are more put being purchased than call. And that is getting a lot of the market participants on a risk-off position. And looking at the internal, the up-down volume ratio, although today the market, the S&P 500 was down almost 0.75%, down 31 points. The up-down volume ratio was a little bit over 2 to 1 in favor of the down volume, and there were only 790 more declining issue than advancing issue. So it is not that bad for a 31-point drop type of a day. Because if you look at Thursday, on Thursday, it was actually 1,600 more declining issue than advancing issue. And also looking at the new 52-week low in the New York Stock Exchange, there were 181 stocks make new 52-week low, and 25 stock make new 52-week high. And not too much action on the cumulative advanced decline line for the New York Stock Exchange. It's basically still hovering near its low. Likewise, for the cash index, S&P 500 is closing down toward the January 24th low. And looking at the Nasdaq market, the Nasdaq 100, you can see is also trending down and getting back to near the January low here. So it is getting back to the critical area that we need to keep a close eye on. And also looking at the internal, the up-down volume ratio is 2.8 to 1 in favor of the down volume today. And the Nasdaq 100 closed down 162 point of 1.1%. And the daily advanced decline, today there were 1,621 more declining issues than advancing issues. And looking at the Nasdaq new high, new low, we did see a little bit more new 52-week low. 452 stock made new 52-week low versus only 28 made 52-week high. So it is still sitting at 400-ish type of level, 300, 400 level. Today closed with 424 more 52-week low than 52-week high. And the cumulative AD line for the Nasdaq market is also near its low here, and likewise for the Nasdaq 100 is closing near its January closing low. Now let's take a look at the S&P 500 daily chart here. First off, look at this. We're closed today at 4348.92. And that is 9.7% from the high here. Remember last time it was more than that, but it's still above the 10% level. So it's not in the correction territory yet. But definitely it is getting near the critical level of getting into the correction territory. Now remember that the correction territory is defined as more than 10%, and then the bear market is 20% or more. So we basically are staring down near this 10% level. And here you can see that it made a series of lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So now if this continue to come down and take out this low here that was printed on January 24, then we essentially got a lower low. And that continue on this, essentially the definition of a downtrend, right? So we got to keep an eye on that for the coming week. Is essentially, remember we were talking about that if it come down into this zone, we expect it to retrace. So look for this dip below the 4,300. And once we get below that 4,300, essentially you're looking at this 4278.94. And if you get down there, then we could be staring down at this low here that is printed on January the 24th. And the low is 4222.62. Now, if it decides to bounce back up, and let's say it is able to get back above this this zone here, we still have to look at this level here, this pivot high at 45.85 before we even start talking about this pivot high here getting close to that 4,600 level. And looking at the Nasdaq 100, you can also see Nasdaq 100 is getting close, getting back to this level, getting close to it now. So, and last time we measured that, it is 16.5% from the high here. So essentially, it is in a correction territory, although it did, get back above it right here. Let me move this and then see what is the percentage here. Here is actually less than 10%, but once again, it is back, more than 10% now. It's at the 16.5%. So still, this is, the lowest close here back on, the January 26th. So we're going to be keeping an eye out for this this level here. And same thing here, we're essentially looking at this zone here. And right now, it's basically retracing back down to this zone. So here's the level to keep an eye on. And if it breaks this level here, then we essentially looking at a lower low. Then we essentially are looking for this possibility, this level here, somewhere around 13,500. And looking at the Russell 2000, here's the Russell 2000, essentially in the bear market territory and then came back up. So right now it is sitting, go and measure where is this. It is sitting somewhere around 18.28%. So it's definitely in the correction territory and also getting close back into the bear market territory. So once again, we essentially are looking at a series of, lower high, lower low, and, lower high, lower low. So again, it is pretty much in a downtrend. And if it take out this low here, we could be looking at something of a bear flag and could be looking at this 1715 level here. So let's go and do a little bit of a major move. And if we look at this basically like a bear flag major move here, the major move actually project down here to the 1718 level, close to this 1715 level here, which is this pivot high here. So that's basically what we are looking at for the Russell 2000. And for the Dow Jones Transportation is still unable to break this trend. And right now, it also, making a series of lower high and lower low. So if it come down and take out this low here, and once again, we're essentially looking at the possibility for this to come down to these 14,000 level here. So we're kind of keep an eye on that. Right now, it is already in a correction territory. And if we take a look at today's close, it is still in a correction territory. It's basically been down 17.95% from this high here. And here for the Dow Jones Industrial, we see the Dow Jones Industrial also getting close to this low once again. And it is putting a lower high here and a if it come down and take out this this level here and dip below 33,000, essentially we got a lower low, and we'd be looking at this 32,000 level down here. And looking at the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index, see that it came back into this zone. We're essentially looking for this thing to retrace back down to the other side of this zone, which is somewhere around this 16,000 level. So keep an eye on this 16,000 level here. If it breaks, then this low will be back in play. And then we'll be staring at this 15,775. So right now, it is still above the correction territory. So we could look at it as a pullback, right? Because it's less than 10% from its high. It's only 6% below its high here. Here's the 10-year yield. As you can see, it came back up to this 2%, a little bit above 2% at 2.065, and then pull back a bit. So right now, we're still kind of waiting for this to move up. And essentially, we're looking at somewhere around this 2.5% area here for the 10-year yield. Now, let's take a look at the US dollar here. Last week, the US dollar dipped below this 95.7. And this week, it came back into this zone here. So we'll see is the dollar going to make another move up for this 97.80 area. And for crude oil, it got almost close to that 96, and then now it pulled back and just right near the $90 level. So we're going to see what it come back up again and try to work toward this $100 level. And for silver, silver held the support, or basically held this level somewhere near this 2270 area. And right now it's making a move back up toward this 2470. If it could get above that, we are essentially looking for it to move up to this 2667, and the goal here is essentially looking at this 2950 up at these highs here. And here's gold. Remember, we're saying that the as long as it's hold above this trend line, we're looking for gold to make its move up and also book this trend line here. Got above the 1846, and now it is making its way toward this 1923. Okay, let's take a look at the SPY, the ETF for the SP 500. You can see, been talking about the zone on the video that I put out throughout the week. And we're basically talking about the intraday type of a price action scenario. And we have a composite point of control here near this 450 level here. And also remember, I was talking about that once you get into this zone, we're basically looking for retracement and see would it get a bounce and push back up. And if it doesn't, and if we get into this zone here, we're also going to be looking for this thing to possibly move down to this composite value area low, which is somewhere around 427. Then it can also come down to the other side of this zone here, which would be somewhere around this 426.50. And here's this January 24th low. And if we are looking at this breakdown from this zone here, then we most likely will see this low get tested somewhere near that 420 level. And here we are looking at the weekly profile for the SPY. This profile is for a one whole week of price action. And you can see this 450 level, right? 2 consecutive weeks, the point of control is sitting at that 450 level. So this will be quite a strong level here. And you see that it tried to get up there this week and was unable to do so and came back down to this zone here. So right now it is sitting here, and today it actually tagged this week's point of control here and then kind of bounces back and pull back inside this zone once again. So again, we're basically looking for the price to continue to move down to this zone and come down and retest this level here. This is basically a high volume node. And then we'd be looking at this 426 level. And if it breaks this 426 and change, then we are looking at this January 24th low. And let's just take a quick look at the daily volume profile just to get a little bit of a detailed look at the intraday price action. As you can see, today it came up and took out this point of control yesterday, point of control, and then came down into this zone here and kind of bounced around and never able to get back up into this upper area of the value area from yesterday. So right now we're essentially looking for the possibility of retracing down to this point of control, and that would be somewhere around this 427 level, right? And so that's basically what we are looking at on an intraday type of basis. Remember, we're still looking for this thing to continue to trace all the way down to this 2670 area, break this zone, and come down and possibly test this low here. Now take a look at the QQQ, the ETF for the Nasdaq 100. You can see I have a composite point of control up at 397. But what we are interested in right now is basically this zone down here. And as you can see right now, the price have moved through this zone and closing right beneath it. So we're basically looking for the possibilities to see would it come back up inside of this zone and test this 348.45 level next week, or would it continue to move down and take out this low here, right? And take out this low near the 327, 337. And if we take a more broader look on the QQQ, looking at the daily chart here, so if it take out this low, and possibly this here, then we're essentially looking at the possibility of maybe coming down to this area here, somewhere around 328, the 326 level. And that's basically is this little bit of a support level here, potential support level. And that doesn't hold, then we could be looking at these, these pivot low here, as potential support, right? So, and here, essentially what I did is I use a major move, right, on this particular pattern, this price action, and project 100% major move down to somewhere around 300, and that is near this pivot low here. And on the 618, which is the 326, and that is close to these price level here. So that's basically some of the possible price level to keep an eye on for the QQQ if it break the January 24 low. And here's the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. You see right now it is inside of this high volume zone now, and dip below this composite value area low. But continue to watch to see what come down to the other end of the zone, which would be somewhere around 194.56. And if it breaks that, then we basically are looking at this low once again to get retested, and that would be somewhere down at this 188 level. And looking at the IWM daily chart here, you can see that if it breaks this low, there is this 618. I essentially did a major move here, and the 100% level is at 170, and the 618 is somewhere around this 185. And here's near that 170 is essentially this pivot high here. If it breaks this January low, then we could see the IWM, just like the Russell 2000, move down to possibly to this pivot high here near this 170 level. In summary, the S&P 500 and the other major market indexes are getting near their January low. If the S&P 500 moved below this low, then it could enter into a correction. The market internal are not as weak as they were back in January. So this could be an indication that the market might be making its final shakeout to complete this corrective phase. In the meantime, be selective and be careful. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up to help me promote and share this video. Thank you for watching and good luck.